Welcome to the next tutorial in the MISHA series. In this tutorial here, we are going to teach you how to build a data cube and how to do some analysis on that data cube. So to build a data cube, you are first going to go to File. Next, you are going to go to the second option here, Build Cube. And you're going to want to go to where your images are. You want to click on this file here first, which are your raw images. You are going to click on the first image, click Control A, and all of your images will be highlighted. Hit the open down here. And it's going to take a couple seconds, so just take a couple deep breaths. All good, all good. All right. This menu is going to open up here. You are going to want to click on Yes for flat field images. You're going to want to click on Yes for manual for calibration. You would click on Yes for auto calibration if your Spectralon here had some red in it. But since our Spectralon does not have any red in it, we are going to select manual. Select Yes for crop, and then you can choose to rotate your image if you would like to. If you decide to rotate your image, you can either rotate it to the left, to the right, or do a whole 180 with it. And depending on what option you click on, it will update over here to show you what your rotated image would look like, just so you can get an idea of it. But since the software is being mean to me right now, I'm going to select no, and then yes for true color. And then once you have all your selected options, you're going to hit done/continue. Now, since we selected that we did want flats, we're going to grab those next. We're going to go to our folder that says flats. You should have captured these separately from your raw images. Click on the folder, select the first image here. Again, hit Control A, and then open. Sometimes you have to move your mouse around to get it to load. Again, it will take a couple of moments here, so deep breaths, you're doing great. It isn't as hard as it seems, trust me. I'm still understanding it all myself. We'll give it a couple more seconds here. The software is processing TIFF images, by the way, which are very large files. So this is why it is taking so long. You aren't doing anything wrong. The software isn't doing anything wrong to your computer. It's just, it needs to take a little bit to go through all the data. Whenever I'm processing, I always like to sometimes have videos up because sometimes this takes a lot longer than you expect it to. I like to text friends, review the data or information that I'm looking for. All of this that could be super helpful for helping me understand what I'm doing. Since it's still taking a little bit, I'll go over what we plan on looking at after we are done processing our cube. We are going to go to the analysis tab, which is that third tab you see there in the upper left-hand corner. And we are going to look at 3 different types of analysis today. We're going to look at PCA, principal component analysis, MNF, maximum noise fraction, and SAM, which is spectral ankle mapper. All righty. Now, next, we are going to drag our mouse inside the calibration target. You don't want to get anything outside the calibration target. You just want to stay in this calibration target here. So you are going to left click And you are going to make your rectangle here. Try to get it as big as you can. And then release your clicking once you have your desired calibration. You can just ignore this here and click no/done. Again, this might take a little bit, so feel free to relax. All right, now that our image has finally popped back up again, we can crop it. So I only want these 3 panels here for mine. So I'm probably going to stop here and only take this section right here. So this is the section that I want to process. So to go over this again, I had left click on this corner here, dragged, and then release. All right, now you can redo this crop section if you'd like to, but for time purposes, we'll say no. Again, it's just going to take a little bit. All right, now you're going to want to store your data cube. What's nice about the archive software, which it'll bring you back to your folder for the object that you are imaging. So it brought me back to my folder right here and put it in a folder called processed. So you can simply just click save here once this pops up. Don't need to double check or anything. It does all that for you. All righty. We have to move our mouse again around sometimes, like I said, to get it to start loading. All right. And our image has finally opened up. So we have officially built our data cube. You can see it right here. We have our file that says the name of our object and then the last part there, data cube. So now we can begin to do analysis. So we're going to go to this 3rd tab here, click on analysis and go to this first option here, which is principal component analysis. You can click on that. Select our PCA. We only have 1 data cube open. So we are going to select OK on this data cube. If you had more options here, you can click on those, but it already selected this one for us because it's our only one that we have opened. You're going to want to select all bands, though you can choose to only select a couple bands if you'd so like. Click OK. And then you can select a smaller region of interest, which just means you can crop this again if you'd like to, but you don't have to. It's not necessary. This can just sometimes help you to get better results. All right, now we officially have our PCAs. So like I mentioned before in the previous video for the processing software overview, the processing for this goes by the same rules when you're toggling back and forth between RGB mode and gray mode. When we are in gray mode here, we can only use one PCA band, but we can cycle through each different PCA band using the different arrows here. Don't forget, if your screen goes blank, the processing software just does this sometimes, just hang tight as it resets itself. And again, with RGB mode here, we can select 3 different bands. And we can process those and get another false color. And these will cycle through the different false color images with these bands. See here. So you can see PCA band 4, PCA band 2, and PCA band 1 rotating through the red, green, and blue channels here to create these different false color images. All right, so our next type of analysis that we're going to go over is maximum noise fraction, or MNF, as it's sometimes here be called. So click on that second option there. You're going to want to select your original data cube. You don't want to do MNF on the PCA version. So make sure that this first option here is selected. Click OK. Similar to PCA analysis, you're going to select all of these. Hit OK again. And you could select only a select few bands if you wanted to, but we recommend selecting all of them. Got to do that mouse move thing. All right, and now you have MNF again, goes by the same rules. When you're in gray mode, you can only select one band, but you can cycle through all of the bands in chronological order, giving you different grayscale images here. And with RGB, you can go through all the different bands again. But this time the 3 bands you selected are cycling through the different, the red channel, the green channel, and the blue channel, as you can see in the interface to the left. All right, the third type of analysis that we are going to go over today is spectral angle mapper, which is also called SAM sometimes. Again, going back to that first option there, you don't want to select your PCA file or your MNF file. Click OK. All right, and you can select a small rectangle for the image that you want to look over. So we are going to select a region of interest for us. I might just select this region in the middle right here. So I just left click right here, then drag, release. And then we are going to select a small area for the SAM calculation. So you're going to want to select an area where all of the pixels look around the same. So I'm going to select this area here. This one's going to be different. You're actually going to draw a region of interest rather than dragging for a region of interest. And then it's going to show all of the similar pixels in this image here. So as you can see, there is SAM right here in the red channel. And that is it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for joining in, and we look forward to seeing you in our next tutorial going over blur and divide, curtain view, and for the brave. Thank you.